You can agree with these standings. Some of them could absolutely shock you. These are our post-schedule release 2025-2026 NFL standings. Let's get into it, starting with the AFC East. We have the Buffalo Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets. The Jets, y'all know me, not a big Justin Fields guy. I don't think he's the guy for the job. I think Breece Hall's going to win out eventually. Garrett Wilson's going to win out eventually. This team is just on a downward spiral. But what's new? It's the New York Jets. When's the last time they were good? We have the Miami Dolphins. Now, it's hard to put faith in Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know how many games he's going to play this season. I hope it's all of them. Dear Lord, I hope he stays healthy. I just don't see that we have an aging Tyreek Hill with hamstring issues. Will Jalen Ramsey be on the team? I feel like they have a kind of makeshift defense at this point. I just don't see them being a major competing team in the East. And that brings me to one of the first ones y'all are going to be shocked about, the New England Patriots. I like the team that they're building. They got the youth. Yes, they still have some holes. I like what they're doing with the running game. I like what they're doing with the defense. But the biggest thing on this list is their coaching changes. I think the coaching changes are going to be absolutely ridiculous for this team. And I think it's going to propel them to a 10-win season, one of our most improved teams of the year. And last but not least, obviously, the Buffalo Bills. Who's denying them? MVP Josh Allen coming off an MVP season. They really didn't lose any pieces. They just added more, and I think they're just not going to really lose a step. I think they're going to continue the path to lose to Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Next, we have the AFC North. We got the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. Again, the Browns, a team with a question mark at quarterback. Joe Flacco is not going to be the guy all season. Is Shedeur Sanders going to be able to come in and win some games? That's the question for the Cleveland Browns. I think you start him week one. I think what the Browns need to look at right now is, all right, we're not competing. We need to put butts in seats. Let's give everyone what they want. Let's roll out Shedeur Sanders. I think they could win 4 games. They're in a really tight division. I just think the quarterback discrepancy is going to be their downfall. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, another team. You're going to see a trend here. Who is their quarterback? I was generous giving them 7 wins, thinking Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. If Aaron Rodgers does not roll into the Steel City, and I know it's going to be Mike Tomlin's downfall of his winning record streak. I think this will be great for Mike Tomlin. I think this will be great for the Steelers because that gives them an excuse to either move on from Mike or promote him into the upper office, and it gives Mike an excuse to leave and go see a new team. I think it is a win-win for both sides, and I think the Steelers fall short this season. We have the Cincinnati Bengals when I say a generous record, I think Joe Burrow is that good. I think Joe Burrow is that guy. I think he can get them to 10 wins and get them the playoff berth. The defense is atrocious. Trey Hendrickson won't be there. Their first round pick hasn't signed yet, but that is how good Joe Burrow is, and that is how much they believe in this offense for the Cincinnati Bengals. And then we have the Baltimore Ravens at 11-6. I think Lamar Jackson, Lamar MVP Jackson is going to show you why he is a top 3 quarterback in this league time and time again. They just extended Derrick Henry. The wide receiver core got better. You're getting Zay Flowers back. Your tight ends are still great. You lost a kicker. You drafted one. You should be fine. Justin Tucker was not great last year. The defense got better. I think the Ravens are going to take the North by force. After that, we have the AFC South. Colts, Titans, Jags, Texans. Texans get better and better. I was a little concerned what they were doing with their O-line at the beginning of the offseason, but they're just shifting older pieces for newer pieces. They didn't really get worse. I think Diggs leaving is kind of a calorie-less move. He didn't really do anything this season for them. I think getting back to basics with their wide receiver core is going to help them a lot more than bringing in guys like Diggs, this and that. I think this team is still going to stay on top, 12-5. Jacksonville Jaguars, I think Trevor Lawrence has to have a great year this year, or they're going to potentially think about moving on from the quarterback. 10-7 record for them. I think the defense got better. I think the offense got significantly better. If you can protect Trevor Lawrence, this is going to be a solid season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tennessee Titans, quarterback Cam Ward, 6-win season. There's a lot of things going on this team. I think the coaching is good. It's kind of falling into place. The quarterback play is going to have to fall into place. The wide receiver core is going to have to get reps and I don't know what I'm trying to say there. The running game is decent. The defense is I see them winning 6 to 7 games. I think 7-11 is a respectable record for them. I do think Cam Ward still balls out. And at the bottom of the division, we have the 3-14 Indianapolis Colts. What did we talk about earlier? Who is their quarterback? You're either rolling out Daniel Jones, you're rolling out a rookie, or you're rolling out Anthony Richardson, who could tap out mid-game on you at any moment, or he could just run for 150 yards. He could throw for 20 yards and win a game. It's just too much what ifs over in Indianapolis for me to give them more than 3 to 4 wins. Give me the Colts at the bottom of the division with the Texans winning. Next, we have the AFC West. Now, this one is going to be a shocker to a lot of people. Yes, we have Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders. Let's start with the Las Vegas Raiders. Getting Geno really didn't do it for me. Getting Genty really didn't do it for me. I think it gets them a few more wins. I still think they're the worst team in the division. Their schedule is it's really a grueler if you look at it deeply. I think they're a 4-win team. Next, we have the Denver Broncos. This division is going to be ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is a 10-win season. Do you believe? Broncos fans, 10 wins and a playoff berth. They'll take it. I think they got better on the offensive side. I really didn't like their draft. I don't think it did a lot of things for the team. They did get some solid picks, but we'll see how they fit into the current starters. Next, we have the Chiefs. It is inevitable. They're going to playoffs. Now, are they going to be as dominant as they have been? I think last year. I think now that the pressure of the three-peat is off of the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to perform better, but that doesn't take away from an aging Travis Kelce. What's your run game going to look like? What's your wide receiver core going to look like? There's so many factors going into the Chiefs. I can't put them above a team like the Chargers, who have a absolutely ridiculous wide receiver core as of right now. They have an absolutely ridiculous run game. They have a great quarterback in Justin Herbert. The defense is absolutely insane, and the coaching knows what it takes to go out there and win games. I think the Chargers win 12. I think the Chiefs win 11. Broncos make the playoffs with 10, and the Raiders fall short yet again on a 4-win season. If I miss any of these, by the way, I feel like it could be the Raiders. I feel like I shorted them a few wins, but I do think 4 to 7 is the range for the Raiders. Next, we have the NFC East, the division everyone's been waiting for. Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. Again, the Giants, Russell Wilson, J-Mo, Jackson Dart. If you're starting Jackson Dart by week 4, I can absolutely see 3-14. Not saying he's not a good quarterback. I just think with the rookie quarterbacks in this class, you don't need to expect much year 1. I feel like they are all, other than Cam Ward, project quarterbacks. 3-14. I think they have a better team than that. I think they could win 3 to 7. We'll see how it goes. Dallas Cowboys, 10-7 year. I think that is being very generous. Do I think they could win up to 11? Absolutely. From a view, just looking at their schedule when it released last night, I was thinking, 10, 11, maybe 12. I don't think they win less than 9. I think 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's the range. Maybe they upset some people here and there. Dallas Cowboys, 10-7, making playoffs. I think you can interchange any of these 3 top teams at any moment. I think the Cowboys could win the division. I think the Commanders could win the division. I think Eagles could be 3rd. I think Commanders could be 3rd. I think these top 3 teams in this division could interchange all season long. I'm going Commanders 11-6. I like what they did. They're still surrounding Jaden Daniels with elite talent. They went and got Deebo Samuel. I think that was a massive, massive move for not only Deebo, but for the Commanders. It's going to get pressure off of Deebo. Dear Lord, not having to run the ball out the backfield anymore. Not really having to be the number 1 guy. You can put him out there and he can not have to worry about having to carry the team on his back because he has a guy like Terry McLaurin out there absolutely tearing up the turf with him. But then you look at the Dallas Cowboys. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got George Pickens. The one thing that bothers me about them is if you cannot get that run game going, Dak Prescott is going to be throwing 30 to 40 times a game, and you just do not want that from a quarterback like Dak Prescott. He can do it, but I don't think he can sustain it for a whole season. Into the Philadelphia Eagles, 11-6. You know, I think they do start a little slow. I think by mid-season they're probably at the beginning of the season 4-2, 5-3, something like that. I think they do pick it up towards the end. I love how you kept the core of the team together. You got a lot of young guys there. Now let's see if they can bounce back and fight for the repeat for the Super Bowl championship. Next, we have the NFC North. Lions fans. If you let me troll you this year, after you see me having you with a 12-5 record, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I do think, so Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings. Vikings, the schedule, a guy who's going to be a rookie quarterback this year, technically. Now I get it. Their head coach, absolutely a quarterback guru. This is going to be the challenge. Could they win 6, 7, 8? I can see it. I don't think they're getting back to playoffs this year. I think there's a lot of factors going into that. I think J.J. McCarthy will be a good quarterback in this league. I just don't think this is the year for him to start it. So 6-11 for the Vikings. Packers 9-8. I like the wide receiver addition. Their defense is down tremendously. And this is how I'm worried about Jordan Love. Their defense is down tremendously. Yes, they finally go get a wide receiver one, which in the draft, which they needed desperately because they have a bunch of wide receiver twos. They're neglecting the defense to put a squad around Jordan Love. And I mean, it could blow up in their face. I could see it happening. I think it's a 9-8 season for the Packers. Now, one of our next most improved teams of the year, we got the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson over there with Caleb Williams. I like what they are doing at tight end. They're going to run a lot of double tight. I like the wide receiver core. I hope potentially they bring back Keenan Allen. I hope potentially they add a little bit more to the run game. I do like Swift. I do like Roshan. I think they are a solid, that's who's over there, right? Lord have mercy. Football overload. I do like their running game. I think Caleb Williams is going to do nothing but progress. I think he will be by the way, first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history. I think they're winning 11 games. I think they're making playoffs. I said they'd win about 11 last year, though, so we'll see. Next, we have the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff. Y'all know how I feel about the Lions. I think the run game is absolutely phenomenal. I think Gibbs might be the best running back in the game right now, next to Saquon Barkley. We'll say that. And he's younger, so that's a great outlook for the Lions. I think Montgomery a dog. I think that 1-2 combo, there's not a better 1-2 combo in the league. The wide receiver core, I don't think they should trade J-Mo unless they're getting an absolute elite pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson. So, can y'all imagine? Hold on for a second. The Bengals, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Jamison Williams. Oh, they might win 15 games. Anyways, I don't think the Lions move off them. I think the wide receiver core is great. They kept most of their team. They did better by their secondary. They went out and they got some guys. They moved some stuff around. I think their secondary will be better because their secondary was piss poor last year. I'm going to keep it real with you. It was terrible. I think it got better. I think the defense hopefully stays healthy, and I think we're going to see a solid Lions team this year as we did last year. Now, can they keep it together in playoffs? That'll be up to Jared Goff, the bus driver, to see if he can drive that bus to the Super Bowl. Next, we have the NFC South, ladies and gentlemen, the Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, and Saints. Now, Saints fans, we're going to take a second to drink some water and let you think about this. Two-win season. Your quarterback situation makes me sick. I don't think that y'all are going to win the retirement stakes for quarterback Aaron Rodgers. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't go there. Y'all are Lord, I would roll out Spencer Rattler. I think he didn't get his fair change. We're going to see all three quarterbacks this year. If Spencer Rattler doesn't progress in the offseason, which last year, by the way, I think he gets unfair hate. I think he was throwing to me and Melman when he got his chance. Hopefully Spencer Rattler is that guy. If he's not, we're going to see three different quarterbacks this year, and we're going to see a 2-win season. and you're going to go and draft an actual number one quarterback. So Saints 2 wins. Panthers 7-10. I love what they're doing. They're building a solid young team around Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is progressing as a quarterback. A lot of people are saying I'm generous giving them 7 wins. I think they could win more. I think 7 is their floor, maybe 6. I don't really think they get too much worse. I think the Panthers go 7-10, which is going to be a massive dub for them because they're in a pretty solid division right now. Look at the Atlanta Falcons. I think they go 11-6. The Bucks, I think they go 11-6. I think you can interchange either of them to win the division. It really depends how their matchups in season go. I think the Bucks get the better of the matchups and score more of the points and win more of the division games because I think Baker just has that experience over Michael Penix. We're going to see how Michael Penix is doing because, again, you have to think, this is kind of his rookie year. He really didn't start until late last season. So he's really going into this year fresh. I am glad. I think he has a step above JJ McCarthy because he has seen how fast the game moves. And once you see that, there's a lot to build off that. So I think Michael Penix does have a better year than JJ McCarthy. And I think it's going to be I think they're going to fight the Bucks for the division. It's going to be interesting to see how those end. We might have to do another prediction video right before the season starts. We'll probably do that. And last but not least, we have my NFC South. We have the Seattle Seahawks, the LA Rams, the 49ers, and the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals 5-win season. If I feel like I fumbled a team, maybe I could have given the Cardinals a few more wins. I've never been sold on Kyler Murray. And I'm hoping him and Marvin Harrison Jr. get it together. I hope the run game can stay healthy. I hope they can find some success. I think it's a 5-12 season. We have the San Francisco 49ers. And if I was to swap any team at the bottom, it would be the 49ers and the Cardinals. I think the 49ers are going to be absolutely terrible. The one reason I think they do better than the Cardinals, I think their coaching is better. I think they have a better coachable quarterback. I think Kyler Murray can make the better plays. I think with Purdy, he knows his position. He knows to go out there and just control the pace of the game. And I think that's going to win them a few more games than the Cardinals. We have the Rams at 11-6. I think they're going to start off slow per usual. I think they're going to start hot I think they're going to stop the end of the year hot. And I think they're going to end 11-6. Can Matthew Stafford make it through the season? He's been resilient all these years in the league, but he's getting older. The run game is nice. The wide receiver core, you switch out Cooper Kupp for Devontae Adams. I think that makes them better because Devontae Adams, in theory, is a more healthy wide receiver. And last but not least, my Seattle Seahawks at 12-5. I think we have the best defense in the division. I think if Cooper Kupp can stay healthy, which we talked about, we have the best wide receiver core in the division. Can JSN match up with Puka Nacua? That's going to be, and I think we have the better running room in the division, ladies and gentlemen. Not the best running back. I think we have the better running room. I like Charbonnet. I like Walker. I like what we're doing over there. I like our coaching. I think defense is going to win us a lot of games. I think Sam Darnold's going to keep us in a lot of games to go win them. I like the Seattle Seahawks at 12-5. And that concludes, here, look, I'll throw up another one for y'all real quick. Boom. Look, move this down. Y'all aren't going to be able to see my camera, but these are our official standings for every team. You see, we got the East. We got all the teams there. Let me know what you think is too high, what you think is too low, what's your upset, and what team you think I just have blatantly wrong down in the comments.